Welcome back to the Intuitive Wonderland. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Williams.
I'm your host, Melodi Anderson.
And we worked through our technical difficulties.
A little bit.
Although you only see it on Mel's feed.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it on yours.
Sometimes these things happen.
Yes, they do.
When you're doing things that are media production.
Well, and if you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't help.
Well, and the phone does its own thing sometimes.
Yeah, my camera was super zoomed in. You could see up our nostrils and everything. Good thing I just waxed mine the other day.
Oh my goodness. Did you wax inside your nose?
You betcha. Yeah, because if they,
I know. I just use a little bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah, I think most people do, but waxing it just takes them out and then
I could see where that would be really nice.
It is.
And then it grows back thinner.
It does. You don't even notice it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, tickle,
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, that's not really on the agenda for talking about today,
but it's good information because I am a body waxer as well.
That's true. So if you need your nostrils waxed.
Yep, just give me a call.
Call Mel.
Or anything else waxed.
Yeah, I can speak to that.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're going to talk about beliefs.
Yes.
We just did a gateway that had nothing to do with that. It was really good, though.
Yeah.
We went in and we let Annabelle guide us. And she gave us some really interesting information.
Yeah.
So we're still working on getting our Patreon up and running for all of you. So it's not there yet, but you'll be able to have several to watch once we do get that up and running.
Yep, up and running.
That's going to be really good.
Yep, excited about that.
Yeah. So today it's beliefs.
Yeah.
And do you want to start us off or do you want me to?
Well, I mean, what I will say to beliefs is mine are forever changing.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. And so I think that that's why it's important to talk about. Because, you might be talking with someone about something and you really feel firmly about it. And then there's a shift that happens when you listen to other people and understand why they believe what they believe.
Yeah.
Give me an example of some of yours.
My beliefs? Well, I believe that we're all one.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I believe that the Bible is not something that descended from heaven. Therefore, it was written by men and has a lot of ego in it.
Yep. I think that, I'm still toying with that because I believe it was inspired of God. But I also believe that there's been a lot of control added to it.
Yes, I agree with that. I think that it started off, I was all for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I believe this because here it is. It's in the Bible and I believe it.
Yes.
And then as I tuned into myself, I realized, wait, that doesn't really resonate.
Mm-hmm.
And resonance is important.
It sure is.
In establishing belief.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on how a belief is formed?
Well, I think that it starts out in our first few years of life, and how you're fed, what you're taught in school, all of those things. You have to kind of unlearn some of those things sometimes to really form some of your own opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of take on the Abraham Hicks position on beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham talks about how a belief is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thought you continue to think.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you come in contact with some kind of idea, a thought, and then it gets reinforced as you think it over and over and over again. And that's what establishes a belief.
Right.
And sometimes a belief serves you and sometimes a belief does not serve you.
Right.
And that's where I like to do some work with like clients in psychotherapy, because sometimes somebody is stuck in a pattern in their life and their belief is the underlying factor.
Right.
And looking at that can be a really delicate thing.
Yeah.
People are pretty like adamant about their beliefs.
Yes, they are.
They're like, well, no, that don't challenge my belief.
Right.
But at some point you didn't have that belief.
Right. When did that belief occur?
Yeah, it was developed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you reinforced it by thinking it over and over and over again. And we have to look at whether it serves you or not.
Yeah.
So I brought with me the emotional guidance scale.
Ooh.
From Abraham Hicks. I put it up here. I wonder if it's backwards.
Yeah, do a screenshot of it or whatever. And...
Yeah. So let's talk about what emotions are and how that correlates.
Okay.
however you're feeling gives you an idea of how close or how far away you are from being aligned with your higher self. That's the whole point of emotions.
Yep, I agree with that.
It tells you where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so this starts off, the top is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're experiencing any of that, you're good to go.
Right.
You're aligned with your higher perspective, therefore you're aligned with source,
Mm-hmm.
and you're probably experiencing life the best it can be.
Right.
The lowest would be fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are faced with your belief, when you know that you're in a belief pattern, right? You're thinking about things that are associated with a belief. If you go to the emotional guidance scale and you can recognize how you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
then you can define whether that belief serves you or not.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really good place for people to start analyzing their beliefs, because the truth is you can choose a different one.
You certainly can. You certainly can. Like in a car accident situation, if you run up and you see someone with blood running down their face and you're like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God. If you act like that, they're going to assume that it's awful and that they're going to die.
Yeah.
But if you walk up calmly and say, oh, help is on the way, you're going to be okay. And yeah, you're bleeding a little bit, but you're only going to bleed just enough to clean the wound and it'll be okay. If you speak with someone in a way that they will believe you,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to be okay.
Yes. That's a knee-jerk response kind of belief.
Yes.
Especially when you can't analyze it yourself.
Yeah.
You're gauging what they're responding to you. And
Yeah.
you're like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
if they're responding like that, this is what it must be.
Right.
And you form a belief right then and there.
You form a belief right then and there. There was one day I was outside of a restaurant in Silverdale, and this van full of elderly people, they were walking into the restaurant that I was in, and one of the ladies fell down. And one of the workers was kind of chewing her out, saying, you weren't supposed to get ahead of us. This is what happens when you blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And now you've got a head wound. You've probably got you've got a concussion. And she's telling her all this stuff. And I knelt down on my knees next to her and I said, you're fine. I said, you're absolutely fine. And I just have my hands on her. I said, heads bleed a lot. You're going to be just fine. And I just talked with her for a few minutes and she smiled at me and you could see that everything was just fine. There was no need to freak out. And
yeah. Let's think about that person's response when they were like, that seemed like that was from a place of fear.
Right.
A lack of control.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They don't want to deal with it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So maybe frustration.
Yeah.
Disappointment.
But she stopped talking when I started talking. Blame. Yep. Worry, disappointment, frustration, irritability, impatience. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if we were to look at something like politics.
I love how you looked at me when you said that.
Well, that's like one of the ones that people really get focused on.
Yes, it is.
They're strong about their beliefs.
Oh my gosh, they would die for them.
Yeah. we get, even here in town, we get protesters all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's signs and they group together and they go out there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my belief.
Yep.
Here's my belief.
That's right.
You should believe what I believe.
Yes. Because you're wrong and I'm right.
Yes. But they're doing it not from a place of love or joy or knowledge or empowerment or freedom.
No.
Or appreciation.
Yep.
It's lower down on the emotional guidance scale.
Yeah, like anger, revenge, hatred, rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to put on a t-shirt the other day that has the American flag on it. And I thought to myself, if I wear this shirt, people are going to perceive me as being somebody who's for Trump.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because he's the president right now of the United States, and this is a United States flag.
Right.
And a lot of the people that are putting out the flag and like, yay, America, are being perceived as people that are in support of President Trump.
That's true.
And so I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, I actually took a moment and thought, I don't know if I should wear this shirt because people are going to perceive me in a particular way.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it really has nothing to do with Trump. It's just the American flag.
Right. But it's a symbol that's been tainted now.
it's definitely been associated with him because he's the one in office.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But now we get another president and you start putting the flag out there, it'll be for that guy.
Right. Yep.
Where it used to be just a unity of the United States. The
Right.
flag represented our country.
Yes.
It didn't represent a person.
Mm-hmm.
So, and anyway,
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting, but, yeah.
It is interesting. Oh, I just love this card here that you have because
Yeah.
it definitely, because I can oscillate between some of these emotions. I'll be like, I can experience joy and all that stuff, and then I'll bounce into something else. I'm like, it's a trigger response. Like you just said earlier, sometimes I'll pop into some of these other emotions and feel like I'm stuck. Oh, no. Get back into, joy.
You're bringing up a really good point because on any given topic, there's two sides.
Oh.
There's the side that makes you feel good and there's the
Mhm.
side that makes you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you can choose to focus on either of them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Based on where your belief is on that spectrum.
Yep.
And that tells you a lot about what you're attracting.
I love that.
I mean, that's your frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And, we could look at President Trump and, well, I guess a really bad example because people are going to be like,
Right.
I'm not going to be able to go there. But there's always a good side and a bad side to everything is my
Right.
point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And based on how you feel is telling you where you're at. See this little thing here? It says tipping point.
Yeah.
It says tipping point right here, and it's between boredom, which is on the lower side, and contentment, which is on the upper side. So the point of this whole thing, once you analyze how you're feeling in response to a belief you're having,
Mm-hmm.
you can start to work your way up the
Okay.
emotional guidance scale
Mm-hmm.
to raise your vibration. And all it really takes is looking at what emotion is above the one of where you're at,
Okay.
reaching for that one.
Wow.
And then you go up to the next one, you reach for that one. When's the time I felt like I wanted revenge for somebody?
Right.
And you align with that feeling, bring it in. Then you can move to when was the time I was really angry? And you work your way up to the point where you can get up to contentment.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in a place where you can actually start to change some of the belief.
Okay. I love it.
If you choose to. Because if you're determining this belief doesn't serve me
Mm-hmm.
and you want to change it, I mean, that would make sense.
Right.
If it's not
Mhm.
serving you, then change it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you get your mind off of it. You
Yeah.
don't focus on that topic first.
Right.
Because if you want to come up into hopefulness and optimism, positive expectations, enthusiasm, passion, love,
Mm-hmm.
you got to think about something where it's easy to bring those feelings out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you get off the topic, you think about a person maybe you
Mhm.
love,
Mm-hmm.
an experience, a passion you have, a hobby.
Right.
And then once you can conjure that feeling up, now you can go back to the belief and you can say, okay, I'm going to just push myself to kind of try to see some positives.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Once you gather that,
Mm-hmm.
you hold that thought for 17 seconds.
Wow. You have to count. I'm holding that thought.
The thing about
Set a
it,
timer.
law of attraction will bring it to you.
Oh.
Because as you hold a thought,
Mhm.
more thoughts like it will come from law of attraction.
That's true.
And so you hold that for 17 seconds,
Mhm.
that brings another one and another one.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you form a new belief.
Well, thought forms are, they show, like cartoons, they show little thought bubbles above
Yeah.
people. That is actually what happens inside the aura, is you'll grow a thought bubble. Like if you're sitting here going, golly, I sure would like a candy bar, and you're imagining a candy bar, but then you're watching your show or you're busy doing laundry, whatever you're doing, you keep tapping into that candy bar, you're growing and growing and growing that thought bubble. You're giving it more and more power. So if you do focus on something for 17 seconds, you're growing and growing and growing and growing that. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, actually, I experienced that with the fasting.
Yeah, we didn't talk about your fast.
Yeah, well, I broke
little
it
bit,
every
but-
night.
okay.
I haven't gone the 24 hours yet, but
Okay.
but I noticed how I'd be like, "Oh, I'm really hungry,"
Mm-hmm.
and then I could start thinking about what I could eat, or I
Mhm.
could go do something else.
Right.
And if I go do something else, the hunger would go away,
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it wouldn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how I pushed through the day.
I fasted extensive fasts by watching cooking shows.
That blows my mind.
And then when I was married and had my son at home, I would become this gourmet chef when I was fasting. It was what I would call food porn.
Wow.
Because I'm like, ooh, everything smells so good and everything looks so good. And then when you do finally get to eat, after days of not eating or weeks or a month of not eating, food tastes so good.
Yeah, they were talking about that on Survivor last night.
Oh my goodness.
Like they go, so long without eating, then when they finally do, it's like exploding in their mouth.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I think we should do a whole podcast episode on the relationship with food and talking about
we should.
that a little bit more, because that's something that we all, I think, aren't fully experiencing because of that.
And we're always on the go. Like,
yeah,
everybody pulls through a fast food restaurant, or, they take their lunch break, they go get something quick and easy. We don't, I think you're right. We definitely need to, because I could just immediately take off running on that topic. So
we could talk about this in conjunction with beliefs, because that's a big one.
Yes, it is.
If I eat this, it'll do this.
Right.
But I really want it, so I'm going to do it anyway. That's
right.
where it's not serving you.
That's right.
To have that belief.
That's true.
So let's all work on believing that ice cream makes us fit and healthy.
That's right. I love that idea. We could do that. My niece is on an ice cream kick right now.
Yeah.
She loves ice cream. And I'm like, no, I'll take the wine. That's my sugar. You know what I mean?
Getting your carbs in a different way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you don't drink, do you notice you crave the sugar?
Yes, I definitely crave sugar if I don't drink. And if I don't drink, I want to eat other things too, not just sugar. I enjoy doing this. There's something about it, even if it's just something to sip on. But
not water.
I drink water like this.
I do too. That's why I drink water too.
Yeah, I don't want to sit and sip on water. That's boring and stupid. No, just kidding. It's not. But I just don't carry water around to have. I think that it's meant to drink when you're thirsty. So you just go get it all done.
Yeah.
So, especially, but with my line of work, because you have your clients, it's not like I can sit and sip on something while I'm working. I think that's rude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want them to listen to me gulp. So I run back in the back room and chug, get back to work.
My massage therapist sometimes would stop and then get a drink, but he was working hard. Like, he would sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was really working. And
right.
Stop and hydrate.
Well, that's different, I think, under those circumstances, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because he's with you for a full hour. Sometimes I have breaks within a client.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Beliefs.
Yep.
Abraham talks about, if you believe that you could eat cardboard and it fuels you, it will.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of work to do there, because we have this social pressure to believe certain things about food in particular.
Right.
And science sometimes works against us in that way.
Yes. Yeah. We have to listen to ourselves. My friend told me that she knew someone who would tell the food, even though it wasn't necessarily something you'd find good for you, I want you to just absorb what is good and then get rid of the rest. Like,
yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to start telling my body that too.
I really think if you're actually enjoying it and you're in the moment of like, oh, this is so good, that it can't not serve you because your vibration is so high.
Right. Exactly.
But most people just eat.
Right.
And then they grow.
Like me.
No, not like you. You know what I was picturing was, what's her name in the Willy Wonka, the chocolate factory.
What was her name? Veronica? No.
Oh, she was
the blueberry.
One. Yeah.
She became the blueberry.
I was picturing that. The blueberry. Yep. Growing. Take her to the juicer.
Take her to the juicer. I love that show.
Veruca? No, she was the other one.
Yeah. I can't remember her name.
Can't either. What's her name? You guys know. I know you know.
She was the gum chewer. She drove me nuts.
Yes, the gum chewer.
Yeah.
And she put it behind her ear.
That's a good place for it.
In your hair. Not to mention the yuck that can happen behind your ear.
Exactly.
Gross.
Okay, give me an example of a belief that you thought you were really firm in, that you were able to change your mind later.
I keep going back to the Bible, because while felt like I was Christian, I was firm on everything in there is the way it needs to be.
Right.
But none of that anymore. I don't believe any of that anymore.
Right. The Bible itself, you don't believe any?
No, it's not that. I just, like the hard or fast rules, the ones that people usually are like gay people, like that's against the Bible. I don't believe that. What are other ones? That men are superior to women.
Right.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
What are some other beliefs in the Bible that are really...
Hell.
I don't believe in hell
Me either.
anymore, but I did.
So did I.
I mean, there's some pretty big, like, foundational beliefs.
I just think that when you realize, I shouldn't say realize, because then that's taking away from the whole belief thing that we're talking about. Because my belief is that we are all love, and our source is love, imagining a hell or being anti-gay or, none of that makes sense from the viewpoint of love.
Well, that was what was changing, because I didn't feel good believing those things.
Right. Me either.
And that's how I knew it wasn't serving me, but I didn't know intellectually it wasn't serving me.
Right.
I had to learn this along the way.
Right.
But then I got exposed to a different form of education. And then I buzzed with resonance.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is what feels like truth to me.
That's what it came to me through pranic healing. Because even though I had been Jehovah's Witness and I firmly believed in everything that they taught, it totally finally shifted when I became a pranic healer and started doing regular meditations and sitting with myself and with Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And then realizing that we are all love and we're all connected in that way. It was just so much easier to let go of those negative beliefs. And as a Jehovah's Witness, when I was, kind of leaving that, even though the beliefs were so strong, I went to work in a place where everybody was super helpful, but the people from the, not church, but that's what they had their backs turned to me. And so I kept thinking, okay, if they're the only ones that are going to make it, why is God looking down on all of these wonderful people that are helpful? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense in my mind.
Yeah.
And so some of these shifts just kind of slowly happen.
Well, and that's as low as you can go, is fear.
Yep.
Fear of somebody who's doing something different.
Yeah.
That's as low as you can go.
Yeah.
Like, you got a long way to go to get back up to love. It's the opposite.
That's where I grew up, is in 22. I grew up terrified.
That's my problem with religion as a whole. So many people are living in fear of being and doing the right thing.
Right.
And they have this guide that they think is it.
Right.
But they don't feel good. Your feeling is your guide.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So we have to listen to that. That's God's gift to us.
Yep.
This scale, these emotions that tell you, here I am. I'm over here in love and happiness and joy.
Right.
Come to me.
Right.
And if you're not feeling that way, then
you're in fear, and that's the wrong place to be.
And it's a belief that's not good for you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if it's creating divide, then you're not part of the oneness.
That's right.
Yeah. So what are some beliefs for you that are really strong?
Well, we've touched on a few in like modern healthcare. I'm not really into healthcare. And I feel like people have been led astray in that. There are some, I think I was born that way though. I really do. So that hasn't changed. So that is a belief, a very strong belief of mine.
Why do you feel like you were born that way?
Because I never liked doctors touching me. I never liked going to doctors. I know people that enjoy going to the doctor. They enjoy, it doesn't bother me to give blood. It doesn't bother, a lot of those, I just don't, I feel very unsafe when I go to a doctor. I feel like they're just going to give you bad news.
That feels like it's more exposure than just being born into it. Like your experiences were not great.
No, they weren't great.
And even when we were talking about like your grandma, when she went into the hospital, like your exposure to someone else being in the hospital, not great.
Not great. Yeah.
And that would reinforce a belief.
And I worked in a private nursing home from 12 to 14.
Yeah, that was a lot of exposure.
A lot of exposure. Yeah, I don't like seeing some of those practices. So yeah, you're right. You're right. It is exposure. So there. Yeah. I don't know. There's a, tend to easily fall into the conspiracy theories
Mm-hmm.
just because they make more sense than what the average person believes, I would suppose. But I
Yeah.
think more and more people are opening up to more conspiracy theories,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like what we've talked about with vaccines and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of stuff. I feel very strongly about vaccines.
Yeah. When you think about that, do you feel good?
No, so I just don't think about it. But I wouldn't receive one either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it forced on me. That would make me feel fearful.
Me too. I wouldn't want anything forced on me.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom is big. Where's freedom? Freedom's on there. Oh, freedom's up there.
Yeah,
It's number one.
Number one.
Yeah. If you feel like anything's going against your freedom,
Mm-hmm.
nobody likes that.
That's true. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Anyway, a lot to think about with that, because
There is a lot to think about.
I mean, beliefs, they span.
They really do. And I think that the main thing is when someone else has a belief and it doesn't necessarily align with mine, I don't want to convince them that I'm right. If they want to believe that, I want to just love them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want them to think that I'm going to try to, you know, because behind the chair, you have to learn how to talk with people without them thinking you don't like what they think.
Yeah. So you just don't really share if you have an opposing belief.
Right.
Or view.
I share my views a lot with people if they're open.
Yeah.
But if they're closed, I'm not going to share my beliefs.
Well, and I find that a lot of times people don't really care what you think.
Absolutely.
They just want to talk about what they think.
Do you know that's 100% the truth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you're not offering it up, then they don't ever know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're just asking questions to keep them talking. And,
Yep.
And showing interest
Yep.
in what they believe.
That's so true.
That's a safe place to be.
It's a safe place to be.
Especially in business format.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure I've lost clients for talking about some of my weirdness, but
well, sometimes you got to test it. You got to test the waters a little bit.
Sure.
To be like, what's it going to be like if I share a little bit about myself?
Right. Absolutely. But
I can't do a whole lot of that.
No.
We have to be very neutral.
Yes. Well, and I really do too. I
Yeah.
really should be neutral, but if someone is open with me and they seem open, I'll be open with them.
Yeah.
I'm really transparent. I mean, I'm not one that likes to hide anything.
I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody asks me a direct question, I will answer it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if I do feel like it's going to be in opposition to them, I might even say, well, I don't want to upset you.
Right.
By what's the word? Challenging what you already believe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Where I may see it differently. And then I can invite them, do you still want to know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that usually helps people mellow out a little on their defensiveness.
Yeah. You would hope so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where genuine relationships form.
Mm-hmm.
Is me being open and you being open.
Absolutely.
And us meeting in the middle, even if we don't meet in the middle.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. There's an old saying, one convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So no matter how much I tell you, this is how you should believe, doesn't mean you're going to believe it.
Well, another Abraham thing. Abraham talks about how words don't teach. Life experience teaches.
100%.
Like I could just preach and preach and preach, and you're going to be like, nah.
Yeah.
Until you experience something on your own.
That's one of the reasons why I try not to have judgment, because the things that I've had the most harsh judgment in my own mind toward other people are the traps that I also fell into and failed. So it's like, oh, you want to see why they struggle with that? Try it yourself.
Yeah. Well, and there's something kind of nice about being able to step back and be like, I don't have to try and convince this person. Like, just knowing that they're on their journey and their path and they'll get to where they're meant to be.
That's right.
Is really nice.
Yeah.
My sister, she's almost 12 years younger than me, and she just had her second child.
Oh.
So there's 7 years between him and Ian, almost 8, getting close there. And so that's a big span.
Yes, it is.
Of when I was going through that and when she's going through that.
Right. Things have changed.
And she admitted to me that she said, I'm starting to understand a little bit more what it was like for you. Because now she's in it.
Gotcha.
Like that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You don't really know until you're doing it.
That's right. That's so true.
Yeah. And that's sometimes what it takes for us to align with other people. To walk in their shoes.
Yes. And then be humble and admit.
Yeah. Or just real about it. Like, well, now I get it.
Yeah.
How many of us have done that with our parents? Okay, now I get it.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
As a parent, they're like, yes, finally this moment.
Finally.
I did that with my mom a few times. Okay, Mom, I get it now.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. Eat that humble pie.
Eat the humble pie. Well, thank you for having this conversation with me about beliefs. I think it's really important.
I agree. Thank you for wanting to have it. It's one of those ones I feel passionate about.
Yeah.
I have a strong belief about beliefs.
It's a good thing to have a strong belief about.
At least how it works.
That's right. Yes.
But that wasn't my idea. I got it from somebody else.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
And I love that card.
Abraham's my jam.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tune into Abraham a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't ever really sat down and watched much of what she does.
Yeah. Is it funny to talk about Abraham as a she?
I know.
People get confused about that.
Yeah.
But it's Esther Hicks.
Right.
She's the individual who channels Abraham, who is an entity, a spiritual entity. So, for anybody that didn't understand that already.
Yeah, and that's also something I'm very interested in is channeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Maybe one of these days we'll do it.
I think Gateway is a form of that.
It is. It absolutely is a form of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But channeling is more being embodied by the spirit, isn't it? Or entity.
There's different kinds. So there's trance channeling, which is what Esther does.
Okay.
I've known several trance channels, and that's where their consciousness goes. They aren't there.
Right.
And the entity comes in.
Right.
And speaks through. Then there's channeling where you are consciously aware. That's the kind I can do.
Okay. Yep. I love it. We should do that. And then there's a book, Ellen Tad. She talked about someone doing where they laid down to channel her mother, and her mother's likeness took over the person.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very, very. And her voice got weak and feeble like her mother's was.
Wow.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. I'm so open to all that stuff. I just love it.
I am too, but a lot of people are fearful.
They're fearful
about it.
Yeah.
I've done a few channeled messages for people where I don't get any feedback because I think they're like, what? That's weird.
Right. And you did one for me and I loved it. It was very...
But you're open and get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good for some, not for others.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yep.
We will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Oh, I turned that off.
Hit finish.